Hello and welcome. Today we're doing a question from LeetCode called letter combinations of a phone number. This is from LeetCode 75. If you are interview prepping and need a playlist to follow, that is a great playlist to use. And I have that linked down below. So what are we being asked? Given a string containing digits from 2 to 9 inclusive, return all possible letter combinations that the number could represent. Return the answer in any order. A mapping of digits to letters, just like on the telephone buttons, is given below. Note that 1 does not map to any letters. So back when phones used to look like this, there were corresponding letters for every single number from 2 to 9 inclusive. And given some numbers, we want to figure out all the possible letter combinations that we can make. So example 1, we have 2, 3. Now we know 2 is going to represent either A, B, or C, and 3 will represent either D, E, or F. So all those possible combinations from 2, 3 would be AD, AE, AF, BD, BE, BF, or CD, CE, CF. So 3 times 3, we would have 9 total combinations. Example 2, we have nothing in our digits, so our output will be empty. And example 3, we just have 2. Again, it's going to be one of 3 choices, A, B, or C. And we have some constraints over here. So the ask is pretty straightforward, right? We are given an input digits. It's going to be composed of numbers, and we want to return all possible letter combinations that we can make. Now, there are going to be 2 ways to do this. We can either do this recursively or iteratively. Both are going to have the same exact time complexity, and we'll get into that later. So I'd recommend for this problem going with whichever one is most intuitive. I think for this problem in particular, the iterative approach is a little bit easier to reason through, so we're going to do that one first. So say we have example 1 again, 2, 3 over here. I want to make all possible combinations from these 2 digits. So looping through these digits, right? The first one I come across is 2. So for 2, what are all the possible letters that it can represent? We know from here it's going to be either A, B, or C. So my current combination array would be filled with A, B, or C. Now this is the first digit that we've come across. Say we already had combinations before. In that case, all we would have done is taken every single combination and made 3 more combinations for each one. To the end of each, we'd add either an A, B, or C. But since this is the first one, all we have right now is the single letter A, B, and C. Now we move down to our next digit. It's going to be 3, and we're going to have 3 more possibilities, D, E, or F. So now we want to loop through every single combination that we have so far, and to each of it, expand adding D, E, F to the end of each. So say we do our first combination first, just that A, to a new combination array, we're going to add to the end of A, D, E, and F. So right now we would have A, D, A, E, A, F. Then we go to B and we do the same thing again, right? We are at B, and now we're going to loop through everything that 3 can be and just add that to the end of it. So we have BD, BE, BF, and finally doing the same thing for C. We would also have CD, CE, and CF. Now that we're done with this, we're going to replace our previous array with this new combination array that we have. And the reason we're doing this is say we had another digit, say we had another 3 in our input. Once we get to this, again, we want to loop through all of these and do the same thing again, right? We would start with AD, and for AD, we would go through DEF and add it to the end of each combination again. So each time what we're doing is storing all the possible combinations we have up until the digit we're on and just expanding out like that. In the end, we just return our final combination. All right, so now that we know what to do, let's go ahead and code this up. All right, to code this up, the first thing we're going to do is check for our base case, right? What if our input digits is empty? If that's the case, we're going to return that empty list. So if digits equals empty string, return empty list. Now, what's next? We need a mapping for all of the numbers to the letters that they represent, right? Similar to what we have over here. So in a dictionary, we're going to have 4 keys, numbers 2 to 9, and their values are going to be a list of letters that they correspond to. This is arguably the hardest part of our code. Okay, so I've gone ahead and written this out, right? 2 is going to be ABC, 3 is going to be DEF, 4 is GHI, and so forth. Now, all we need to do is loop through our digits. So for digit in digits, we know we want to keep track of a new temporary array that we're going to replace our original combinations with. So we need to initialize those arrays. First, I'm going to initialize a combinations array to be empty and our new combinations to also be empty. So right now, say our input is 23, our first digit is going to be 2, combinations is empty, and our new combination array is also empty. Now what we want to do is loop through all the combinations we have stored so far. So for combo in combinations, for every single combination, we're going to see all the letters we have in our digit that we are on. So we're going to have another for loop. So for letter in D of digit. So right now digit is 2. d of digit, so d of 2 is ABC, and we're looping through all the letters in this list. So letter is going to start off with A. And all we want to do is to new combination, append our current combination, so combo, plus the letter that we are on, so plus letter. Right now, our combinations is empty, so there's really nothing to loop through. So we're going to add an empty string in here. That way we can actually go into it and add a letter to the end of that. At this point, after we're done with this for loop, we would have added all of these letters to the end of whatever combination we have. And once we exit this for loop, all of our combinations would be complete. So once this is done, we're going to replace our combinations to be this new com that we've been making. So combinations is going to equal new com. And in the end, we just return combinations. So let's go ahead and submit this. Wrong answer. Let's see. Oh, this was actually supposed to be in here. Okay, now go ahead and submit this. And it is accepted. Now doing a super quick walkthrough with that same example 2-3, let's just finish out our iterations and see how this plays out. Okay, super quickly going through this, right? We go in this if condition, digits is not empty, it's 2-3, so we don't return. We define our dictionary D, combination starts with the empty string, and we loop through. So for digit in digits, we start off with digit 2. We have our new combination initialized, and we're looping through all of our combinations. So our current combination is this empty string over here. And we're also looping through for letter in D of digit. So D of digit is 2, and we're looping through the letters. We start off with letter A. A over here, and to new combination, we're going to append our current combo, so this empty string plus the letter that we have, which is A. So empty string plus A, concatenating that together will just be A. So we add to new com A, we go back in this loop, our new letter is going to be B, and we do the same thing. So empty string plus B is just going to be B. So we append that to new combination, go back in this loop, and do the same thing with C. So we have C in our new combination as well. Going in this for loop, there are no more letters for us to iterate over, so we're out of this for loop, and we go into this for loop over here. But there's nothing for us to iterate over here either, right? This was our only empty string entry in our list. So we are out of this for loop over here, and our next line is setting combinations to equal what we have in new com. So combinations is now going to equal ABC. We're out of this line, and we go back in our original for loop, where we were iterating through our digit. So digit is no longer 2, it's now going to be 3. And we're going to do the same thing again. So new combination is going to be empty. We're going to loop through all the combinations we have so far. We start off with just A over here. And we're also looping through all the letters in D of digit. D of digit is going to be what we have in D of 3. So we're looping through D, E, F. We start off with letter being D. And to our new com, we're going to append what we have so far in our combo, plus the letter that we're on. So combo that we're on right now is A. To that, we're going to add a D. So A plus D, concatenating that together is going to give us AD. We go back in our for loop, go to our next letter, so it's going to be E. So to our new combination, we're going to append our current combo, which is A, plus the letter we're on, which is E. So we have AE, we go back in this loop, and we're going to append AF. Now there are no more letters for us to loop through in this for loop, so we're out of here, and we go in this for loop. So we're doing the same exact thing again with B, which means we reset our loop again for this, right? We start off at D again, we're going to do BD, then BE, and finally BF. We exit this for loop again, we go in this bigger one, do the same thing for C. So we're going to end up with CD, CE, CF. We exit this for loop, go in here. There are no more combinations for us to iterate over. We exit this for loop, and we set our combinations to be this new combo that we've built. So combinations is going to equal this array. We go out of this for loop, and there are no more digits for us to iterate over. So we're done out of this for loop, and we return our combinations that we've made. So this holds all the combinations that we can make for 2 and 3. Now, talking about time complexity, right? Every single time our answer multiplies by how many letters we're going through. Worst case, there could be 4 letters depending on what number we have. So every single time we have another digit, our total space is going to multiply by that 4. So if our input string digits is size n, our space and time complexity will be n to the power of 4. It's exponential, right? Because that's how many combinations we're making, and that's how much space we're going to be taking up. So we just solved this iteratively, and we can also take this problem and solve it recursively. It's going to be very, very similar. It's going to be the same loops that we're using. It's going to have the same time and space complexity, and it's going to be the same logic, essentially. The only difference is for an iterative approach, generally it's always breadth first search, right? Based on every digit that we passed, we were completing all the combinations we could up until that point for that letter. The only difference is with a recursive approach, usually instead of a breadth first search, it's going to be a depth first search. So we're going to make all the combinations we can down a path. And what I mean by that, say we have another example. So digits is going to be 233, and we still want to loop through all of our digits, right? So we're going to start off with digit being 2, and we're going to loop through all of the letters that this digit can represent. So A, B, C. So we're going to start off with letter A, but before appending that to any combination or temporary combination array, we're going to see how far down we can go. I have A over here for my first letter representation of 2. Now I'm going to move my index down to check digit 3. Now I'm going to go in 3 and loop through as well from D, E, F. And the first letter I come across is D. So I'm going to add that to the current combination I'm building. So right now I have A and D, but before I can finish out this loop over here, I'm going to see the next digit I have. So I'm going to move down an index again and see all the letters I can make for this digit. So we're going to be looping again, right, through all of these letters, and we start with D again. So our current combination is going to be A, D, D. I try to move down another index, but I see there's no more digits for me to go over. So this combination, ADD, is going to be one of our final combinations. So I'm going to take this combination I have and add it to some final combination array that we have, and then go back an index and finish that loop. So I'm going to go back to this index over here, continue with my loop. So now instead of D, I'm at E, so I have ADE. And I move up again. There's nothing else I can add, which means ADE was my full combo. So I go back again, do the loop, I get AEF. And I see this is going to be my full combo, so I'm going to add this over here as well. And now I've finished looping through everything I can for this index I'm on, so I'm going to go back another index, which means I continue with this loop now, right? So instead of D, I'm going to be at E, and my current combination is going to be AE. Now we're going to repeat that same logic again, right? We're going to go down another index and see what paths we can make with AE. We finished everything we could have with AD. So now with AE, right, we're going to have AED, AEE, and AEF. And I would keep going back and forth between the indices until I finish all those loops out. So say I finished going AFD, AFE, AFF, which means at this point I'd be done with all of my A's, and I would go back all the way to index 0 and finish that loop. So move this down from A to B and repeat that same process. So instead of making all the combinations we can digit by digit, we make all the combinations down all of our digits and keep going back and forth through our indices. And that's the recursive way to solve that. So let's go ahead and code this up. Okay, to code this up, actually, anytime we want to do any backtracking problem, there are 3 things we really want to keep in mind. The current combination that we're building up, the index that we're on, since we will be going back and forth, right? We go down a path, go back up. And the third thing we want to keep in mind is when we want to stop. As long as we have all 3 things clear, it's going to be really easy to write this out. So first things, we want to have our base case and our dictionary, right? So I'm going to move this up here. Now to write this recursively, I find it easiest to write the recursive function within this function over here. That way we don't really need to pass in this full combination list that we're building every single time. It's just fewer variables to keep track of. So what I'm going to do is do self.combinations. This is going to keep track of our final list of all the combinations that we have. And now I'm going to define our recursive function. So I'm going to call it combinations, and in it, I'm going to pass in the current combination we're building and the index that we are on. Now with a recursive function, of course, there's the base case and the recursive case. For the base case, we want to see when we want to stop recursing. So when our current combination is complete and we can actually add it to our combinations array. That's going to happen if the index we are on is greater than the digits we have. There are no more other digits we need to go through, so our combination is complete. So if D is greater than equal to length of the digits in this example is 3, if D was at index 3. So if we were over here, remember Python 0 index, so it's 0, 1, 2. If we were past all of these, we would know for sure our current combination is complete, and we'll just append it to our combinations. So if this is the case, then to self.combinations, we append our current combination, and we're going to return out. Now, if that is not the case, we can still continue building up our current combination, and we want to loop through all the letters we have available at this digit. So for letter in D of, actually, let me rename this. D is the dictionary here, so let's call this index I. So for letter in D of digits of I is the number that we have in our input, and we're looping through D of that number that we're dealing with. So we're looping through either ABC, DEF, or so forth. And what we're going to do is call this function again with that added on to the end of our combination. So we're going to call combination with our current combo plus the letter we're looping through. And I is going to be I plus 1. We want to check what the next index is and continue building our current combo. So it's I plus 1. Once we're done with this, all we're going to do is return out. So this is our recursive function. That is it. We just want to call this. So I'm going to call combination. And initially I'm passing in the empty string and 0 for our index I. And once we call this, right, we add everything to combinations. We're just going to return self.combinations. So let's go ahead and submit this. And it is accepted. Now before leaving, we're also going to do a super quick walkthrough of this as well. Okay, super quickly, this is going to be our input digits. We're only going to do a couple iterations. We know our solution is going to be exponential in time and space, so we're not going to do everything or use a big example. But say our input digits is 2, 3. It's not empty, so we don't return. What we do is define our dictionary, and we initialize our combinations array. So self.combinations is empty. Now we define our recursive function, and we're going to call it with the empty string and index 0. So we call this, and we're passing in current to be empty for this function, and I to be 0. Now we go in this function and we check I is not greater than equal to length of digits. Digits has a length of 2, so we can't go in this if. Instead, we're going to be looping through. So for letter in D of digits of I is 0, digits of I is going to be 2, and D of 2 over here is going to be this list over here. And we're looping through it. So letter is going to start off being A, and we're calling this function again with our current combination with A added to the end. So we're passing in current, which is empty, plus A, so that's just going to be A, and I plus 1. I is 0 right now, so 0 plus 1 is going to be 1. So we call this function again, current's A and I is 1. I is not greater than equal to length of digits. We go in this for loop. So for letter in D of digits of I is index 1, digits of 1 is 3, and D of 3 is this list over here. So we're looping through here. So our letter is going to be D. We call this again, and we're passing in current, which is A, plus our letter, which is D, and I plus 1, I is 1, we're adding another 1 to that. So this function now is going to take in current being AD and I being 2. We check I greater than equal to length of digits. This now is going to be true. I is 2 and length of digits is 2. So 2 combinations, we're going to append our current combination. So combinations is going to get AD, our current combination, and we're going to return out of this function. So we return out of here, go back to our previous caller, which means we just finished out of this for loop and we loop through. So letter is now going to be E, and we do the same thing again. We're calling this function with our current, which is A, plus the letter we're on, which is E, and I plus 1. I is 1 right now, we're going to pass in 2. So combination is going to take in AE and I being 2. I is greater than equal to digit, so we append that to combinations. So combinations is going to get AE, and we return out of here. So we return to our caller here, we just finished going this function, we go back in our loop, we're now at F, and we do the same thing. So now this called with AF, I is 2, we append to combinations AF, and return to our caller. Now once we're out of this for loop, there are no more letters for us to iterate over, so we return out of this function as well, and return to our caller. So we're out of here, and we go back in that initial loop we had, and instead of A, we're going to do the same thing with B. So we're back at index I being 0, and our current being empty. And now we're going to do the same thing with B. So we're back in this for loop for that level of the recursive stack, right? We're still looping through all of our digits here, and we're going to call combination again with current plus letter and I plus 1, which means we're going to pass in the empty string plus B, which is just B, and 0 plus 1, which is 1. And once we're in here, we're just going to repeat the same steps again, right? We're going to have BD, BE, BF, then we go back in here, do CD, CE, CF. And after all of that, we're going to return combinations, which is going to store all of our combinations. So we just went ahead and solved letter combinations of phone number, both recursively and iteratively. If you have any questions with either approach, code, or example, let me know down below. I will answer all of them. If this video was helpful, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It really supports the channel. And as always, I will see you in the next one.